What's up guys, this is Vaulty here, back again for another video, and in this video we will be talking about some common ways that players get banned from World of Warcraft. Now, many people get banned for different reasons, however, here are 5 common ways that players get banned. And before the video starts, write a comment down below saying if you have ever been suspended or banned from World of Warcraft. Leave that down in the comments down below because I'm sure that my audience have been banned at some point, or at least suspended by Blizzard. Now, getting banned in World of Warcraft is probably one of the worst things that can happen to you. After you spend so much time developing your character and getting gear and unlocking things, having your character get banned or characters is absolutely terrible. However, some people really do push the limits of what you can do in the game, and they get suspended rightly or wrongly by Blizzard. So number 1 is real money trade. Now, real money trade has been in MMOs since the beginning of time. The nature of MMOs means that it is a grindy experience, and getting gold and resources is very time consuming just by the nature of the game genre. However, this is becoming less and less, but back in the day in 2006 Vanilla WoW all the way up to, I would say, Wrath of the Lich King, gold farming and gold selling was a huge business where players can make a lot of money just by selling and farming gold in the game. Right now, RuneScape is having a similar problem with Venezuelans farming RuneScape gold and selling it for real money. It just comes with the territory of MMOs. However, real money trade extends beyond just buying and selling gold. In today's Legion WoW, a popular thing that people are doing are buying boosts. Now, the way boosts work is that you will pay a group of players to boost you through Mythic plus 15 dungeons. And going through Mythic plus 15 dungeons will give you some amazing gear and will give you a real head start compared to the stuff you can get in looking for a raid. Now, there have been many reports recently of players giving real money to groups so they can boost them through the Mythic dungeons, and this is obviously against Blizzard's terms of service. Although it may be tempting to get a head start on other players by spending some of your real money, it can get you banned even if you're buying it, but especially if you're selling it. If you're selling things in-game, you can expect to get a ban by Blizzard at some point. Whether you're buying or selling, real money trade can get you suspended or even banned. Number 2 is using glitches or exploits to in-game advantage. Now, the second part of that is important, the in-game advantage. Blizzard doesn't normally care if players actually use exploits or glitches as long as it's something that doesn't really affect the world as a whole. For example, in some of my videos I do things where I clip through the world and I want to see a secret zone in World of Warcraft, such as my video talking about what's behind the locked gates in Ironforge. Now, I used a glitch to get out of the map, however I was not using anything to get an in-game advantage, and that is the difference. Blizzard, for the most part, doesn't really care if you find a glitch or an exploit, as long as it doesn't really affect the PvE or PvP systems in the game. Using a glitch to go behind the wall and explore a zone that you have never seen before, 99.99% of the time will not get you in any trouble. However, if you use a terrain exploit so you can kill people in PvP and they can't attack back, now that is something that can get you banned. And knowing this distinction is important. If you do find a glitch or exploit, make sure to never use this in a way that can give you an advantage in PvE or PvP, because this is a really easy way for you to get in some trouble with Blizzard. In fact, back in the day in Wrath of the Lich King, there was a top-end PvE guild that were taking on Arthas in Icecrown Citadel, where the rogues in their team would use a bomb. They would use a bomb as part of their regular rotation. And the bomb had the side effect of restoring some of the panels that the boss destroys, giving you more space to fight the boss. So through the course of the fight, Arthas will break away the floor panels, and if you use the bomb, you can actually restore the floor panels. However, the guild at the time that were running this raid had no idea that this was actually how it works and that the bombs actually bugged it. Blizzard found out about this bug or exploit. They actually suspended the guild for using an exploit that they didn't even know was an exploit. They just thought it was part of the fight, and they were just doing their normal spell rotation, and because there was an exploit in there that gave them a PvE advantage, Blizzard suspended them. Probably not the best choice considering that they weren't going out of the way to exploit, but this just shows you that Blizzard does not play when it comes to using glitches and exploits in PvE or PvP. Number 3 is account sharing. Now this is something that makes business sense. If you got two people that are playing a game, you want them to buy their individual subscriptions. So you want both guys to be spending their $15 a month. However, if they're sharing one account, you're only getting $15 from them. And you could argue that this gives someone an unfair advantage. If a character is getting twice the playtime by two different people, then they can get ahead of other players that do not have the amount of time they have. Now this was especially prevalent back in the day where getting rank 14 in vanilla WoW was something that was so time consuming, and it literally required you to spend 12 plus hours a day of PvP grinding to get rank 14. And rank 14 gave you some of the best weapons and armor in the game. For so many people, it was just too much of a grind to ever get there. However, with account sharing, you could half that time. Let's say you have one guy that spends 6 hours grinding PvP, and you got another guy that is grinding 6 hours on top of that. That is 12 hours in total of PvP grinding. And this is obviously an unfair advantage, and Blizzard really does crack down on this. When you start using account sharing to gain an in-game advantage, you can actually be banned. Number 4 is role-playing going too far. Now Blizzard has created role-playing servers because they want people to be able to have the freedom to act out whatever they want. And World of Warcraft has a large scope of role-playing possibilities. The game lore is absolutely huge at this point, and you can act out many different stories or write your own story into the game and act it out with your friends and guild. And role-playing is a lot of fun when you find a group of people that you get along with. However, some people take role-playing a little bit too far and they act out some things that, well, Blizzard doesn't want you to act out. Now, the age rating of World of Warcraft back in the day was 12 plus. Now, that has recently been increased up to 16 plus. And back in the day, 12 plus. So there are a lot of young people that are playing World of Warcraft. So Blizzard has to keep in mind that their audience can be quite young, and they do not want people to be acting out some crazy, absolutely taboo situations. One such example of this is a role-playing guild that was called Abhorrent Taboo. Abhorrent Taboo was a horde guild that was on the RP server of Ravenhold. These guys engaged in erotic role-playing, which is already quite suspect and Blizzard is not too fond of considering the age rating of the game. However, these guys took this one step further. These guys did really taboo situations where they would act out. And I fancy having ads on this video, so I cannot give you examples of what they were acting out. However, I want to say that if you were to do them in real life, you would be in a lot of trouble with the law. So they were acting out illegal things that you would never want to see happen in real life. Things that can get you arrested for a long time. And these guys were acting it out in like the Goldshire Inn. So you can imagine, like, you're just like casually playing World of Warcraft and you go into the Goldshire Inn and you start seeing like an orc assault a dwarf. I mean, that is not right. No kid has to see that. And Blizzard ended up disbanding this guild and they just weren't happy with it. They weren't happy having this kind of community on their game. And I completely understand Blizzard's perspective, why they don't want erotic role-playing or especially this kind of role-playing into their game. You've got a lot of kids that are playing this game, so you don't want to see this kind of stuff being acted out just casually playing the game. There are plenty of communities on the internet where you can act out stuff that you want to act out, and it doesn't have to be in World of Warcraft. Number 5 is third-party software. Now obviously Blizzard allows you to have add-ons and things that can help you in the game and give you an advantage of how to play the game, such as damage meters, threat meters, leveling guides, things of that nature. However, sometimes things go a little bit too far, and when you actually start trying to change the game code, that is when Blizzard steps in. An obvious example of this are botting software. Now, botting software allows you to play the game without being on your keyboard. Your character will be farming herbs or whatever you want it to do, and you do not have to be at the keyboard. And if Blizzard catches you doing this, they will ban you forever. And obvious things like speed hacks, flying hacks, collision hacks, these are all things that can get you banned indefinitely. Blizzard also dislikes mods that change the game's appearance. They do not like people that use mods to change the game's code in any way, whether that be client-side or something that affects the game world. Now, I've seen some pretty amazing mods in my time. Like, World of Warcraft mods are, well, they can be pretty amazing. I've seen mods where they change the game so much that it doesn't even look like World of Warcraft anymore. It actually starts to resemble some completely other game. Some mods where they change your character's skins, change your equipment, change the world environments. There are a lot of visual mods that you can install and change the game with. However, keep in mind, although they may look cool, if you install them and change the game using your mods, you can actually get suspended or banned by Blizzard. So I would not recommend you doing it. Well guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more. This is vaulty, signing out.